Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi everybody, I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Roll it. Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest today was born in New York City, raised in Yonkers, New York. His career has spanned more than 40 years. Now, during that time, he has collaborated with a large number of influential icons, including Al Cooper, Stephen Stills, Kiss, Pat Benatar, the Doobie Brothers, Richie Havens, and Cher. And he's even an actor. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Richard T. Bear. The Bear's in town. Hey, my brother, how you doing? How you doing? Looking good.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Better for having seen you and been on your show. I got to tell you, I'm really excited.
Thank you, welcome to The Actor's Choice.
With you. Thank you.
Man, 40 years. That's a long time giving audiences some outstanding music. As I read your bio, I see that you put your heart and soul into what you did. Take us back to when you first started singing and playing music.
Well, let's see. When I first started singing and playing music, I think it was pretty much at summer camp. And summer camp was they would have like a little talent show, and I think Louis Armstrong was my favorite performer in those days, and I just love Louis, so I sang "When the Saints Come Marching In." So that was my first attempt at music or performance. I even had a hanky, and I would like dab my.
Go ahead with your bad self. 1978, your first of 5 albums, Red, Hot, and Blue. Right. Then in 1979, and we just played, by the way, we just played off that hit called Sunshine Hotel. That was one of the hits off that album that he did. Definitely.
Believe it or not, I'm going to stop you there right with Sunshine Hotel because it's still a hit. It is. I'm contacted monthly by DJs, the electronic, music DJs now, all around the world. They sample that record and do needle drops from that. A guy in Germany this week just contacted me and sent me his version of Sunshine Hotel. So they're playing it in Moscow, Rome, London, Paris, all over Vegas. They still play Sunshine Hotel.
And you getting the residuals?
Not like they used to, but it's nice to know that once you get something established, it went number 4 in the world dance charts. So it was a top 5 record.
Outstanding. 1979, you started moving around. You were a guest on the Dick Clark and American Bandstand. That's you and Dick.
Yeah, he was a super nice guy.
We miss him. Him.
Rest in peace, Dick.
Yeah, had a chance to work with him on some projects and really miss. We used to call him Richard Clark. They said, Richard Clark, who's Richard Clark? I said, you mean Dick Clark? Yeah. That year you had your second album called Bear.
Right.
Yeah, it was. And then let's take a moment and tell us what's it like putting together an album. People don't understand it. They see the completed process, but they don't understand what's it like putting an album together.
Well, fortunately, by the time I got my record deal with RCA, the worldwide record deal, I had played on a lot of other people's records. I was a studio musician in New York City. And I learned how to play in the studio because of cats like King Curtis, Richie Havens, Odetta, and people like that took me under their wing. And I was playing on Richie's album, and he had the best of all musicians in New York City that were playing out. Bernard Purdy, Pretty Purdy, and and all those cats. And I was this young kid, and I didn't even have a stage name yet. I got my name Bear when I signed with RCA because they said your real name, Richard Gerstein, Gerstein, will never sell in the South. And I was thinking, oh, what do you want to, what name do you want to call me? And they said, well, have you got a nickname? And I said, yeah, Bear. They said, okay, how about Richard the Bear? And I went, no, I don't know. And I said, how about Richard T. Bear? And they said, well, what does T stand for? I said, if I sign this contract, it's going to stand for trustworthy. So that's, that's how I got the deal. And fortunately had some experience on how to make a record. It's hard. I mean, the first thing when you make a record, the most important thing I say to anybody today that comes up to me and wants to know about how to make a record is I said, you got to start with the song. Everything starts with the song. If you don't have a song, you don't have a record, or you have a record without any good songs on it, and it's not going to go anywhere. So writing is the most important thing. And then it's really, really important to get a producer, somebody that can, a producer in the music world is like a director in the film world. They're gonna tell you what a take is. They're gonna tell you, what you should be reading, what you should be singing, where you should be putting the groove, hiring the musicians around you to make the chemistry fit right, and then getting a studio. They get a budget, they got to bring it in for that budget. Just like film and TV. Yeah.
T-Bear, when I listen to you, I hear your voice, I say to myself, this gentleman has what I call a gift from God. Do you agree?
I am grateful. I am grateful.
Indeed, indeed. How do you define the music style, T-Bear?
I fortunately, grew up loving gospel. That was my whole beginning. I listened to gospel. I listened to soul music. I listened to R&B. Not so much pop, but I got a real roots in that kind of stuff. And then I fortunately would go down to the city. I worked in a music store called Manny's Music, and a lot of great recording artists would come in there and buy their instruments and things. And then I'd go down to the Fillmore East, or I'd go to some of the clubs around town. And I remember King Curtis took me to a couple of clubs, and I learned the ins and outs of how to hang, how to not be in the way, to try to develop a style, because I had no style in those days. So I would kind of glom onto someone's style. And little by little, I started taking pieces from everyone and trying to put my thing together. And what came out was, one day on a Sunday, I was at an open mic night at a little bar on the Upper East Side called Dr. Generosity's. We used to call it Dr. G's. And two guys walked in, Al Bonetta, a talent manager, and his new talent, a guy called John Prine. And John Prine got up to sing some songs, and he sang 3 songs. One was called Angel from Montgomery. The other one was called Hello in There. And the third one was called Sam Stone. Now, I don't know if you know who John Prine was, or is. He just passed this year from COVID, God rest his soul. But if you'd asked Bob Dylan who his favorite songwriter was, he would say John Prine. Okay. And so I listened to this guy, and his stories and his songs were so important that I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be a singer-songwriter. So that's how I developed my style, on writing songs and telling a story. And that's what I wanted to be, a singer-songwriter, storyteller.
1979, you and a young lady named Cher got together for a video short called Cher, Love and Pain. And you wrote Cher and Other Fantasies, got your first IMDb writer credit.
Well, I got really lucky again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe some talent had something to do with it, but I got lucky as well. Sometimes, it's better to be lucky than good. And I agree with that. Her boyfriend at the time was a guy called Gene Simmons, who was one of the members of Kiss.
Yes.
In fact, that picture with the hat in front of his face, that's Gene. And yeah, right there. Because they had a little thing going on that you couldn't see who they looked like, you know, unless they had makeup on or something like that at the time. That was their whole gaff. So I was doing his album and another Kiss album and a third guy from Kiss at the same time. He's dating Cher, and he says, "Let's go to England and make a record." I said, "Great." So I get on the plane with him, and he flew us all on a Concorde, and which was the fastest way to get to, you know, anywhere in the world. It was supersonic. And instead of an 8.5-hour flight to London from New York, it was like 3.5 hours. So it was like really quick. I got there on the plane, and he's sitting next to Cher. And he says, "Well, I'm dating her now, and she's coming with us." And she brought her family and her kids. And I got to know her over the 2 weeks that we were there in England recording. And she was a super nice lady, and really enjoyed her. And she said, "Wow, I've been hearing lots of great things about you, and you're helping, you know, Gene with his songs and things. Maybe you have a song for me. I'm going to do an album." And I said, yeah, I might have something. And I came up with a really good ballad that would fit her vocal range and her style. And to this day, I'm told by critics that that's her favorite ballad, and that's the one she sings the best, and it's called "Love and Pain." On my first album, Red Hot and Blue, it's called "Pain in My Heart," but we shortened it for her for "Love and Pain."
Excellent. Fast forward to 1984, you had your third album. They called it The Bare Truth. Man, you was rolling. You worked with a lot of famous people, you know. But you know what? When you work with these famous people, you become famous. Is that right?
Oh, they're all hanging on to me. You know that.
Yeah. Names like Richie Havens, Odetta, Milt Jackson, King Curtis. I understand those are next door neighbors, those last two people.
Yeah, they were.
How was that?
That was amazing. You know, on one side was Floyd Patterson, the boxer.
Uh-huh.
On the other side was Milt Jackson, you know, modern jazz quartet, the vibe player. And I used to hang with Richie Havens a lot. And Odetta, she says, "Show me that chord, that gospel chord you got there that you're using on this song." And I would show her. And she says, "Okay, now when you sing it this way." And so we kind of helped each other. You know, I showed her a couple of piano changes. She loves a couple of chords and changes that I had on a song. And she said, "I want you to try to sing it this way." And I'll tell you a great story about getting help from people. And being in the right place at the right time. Like I said, it's better to be lucky than good. I was playing a gig in New York City, and in walks Frank Sinatra with a bunch of guys, and he was doing a movie a couple of blocks away called Contract on Cherry Street. And he walks in, and I'm singing and I'm playing, and he sent his right-hand man, Jilly Rizzo, over to get me to come over to his table and where he was sitting. I guess it was in between. They were setting up for another scene, and he had an hour off, so he wanted to find out where the music was or where the club was. So he came in, and I come over to him, and I sit down, and I'm like, you know, completely overwhelmed. This is Frank Sinatra. And I said, "Oh, Mr. Sinatra, it's so great to see you." And he looked at me and he says, "You got a good voice, kid. You got something going for yourself. Here's my suggestion to you." I said, "Yes, sir, Mr. Sinatra." He said, "Breathe. Take that breath. Because while you take the breath, you're going to be on the backside of the lyric. You're going to be on the backside of that song, and it's going to be more important for people. They're going to understand your delivery a little bit better. Don't be in such a hurry. You got a good voice. You got to go places." That was Sinatra's thing to me. Breathe. Stay on the backside of the lyric.
Amazing. God did that. God planned that time for you guys to come together.
Yeah, that was
He
amazing.
does things like that.
Yeah.
To do that. Yes. Let's step it up. 1985. You got your first IMDb actor credit. You were in a TV series, Miami Vice.
Producer Miami Vice and Don Johnson knew me, and they said, "Hey, we've got some people coming down here, and maybe Phil Collins and a couple of actors you might know. We got a part for you. You're going to play the helicopter drug dealer guy, and in fact, we're going to murder you in this show." So I said, "Great! I've never flown a helicopter. I don't deal drugs, and you're going to murder me. I love it. I love it. Let's do it."
1986, you came out with your 4th album. You called this one The Runner.
The Runner, The Runner was an album that Giorgio Moroder and some of the people in Munich and liked me, so they got me this song. And I didn't write The Runner; they wrote it, but they wanted me to sing it. So that was a single, and it was a very big single in Europe. And I was very lucky to have that. At the same time, I had left RCA. So RCA put 2 albums out on top of that at the same time, because I was going to have this album out. They followed it up with Captured Alive by Richard T. Bear, which is a live recording, and then the Best Of. And so now I've gotten 2 more on top of that, and then this one comes out.
Wow, wow. By the way, we do happen to have a shortcut. Roll it, Tony.
There you stand, waiting for a sign, looking for time to slip away, leave it behind. Just understand, I gave you my heart. I wish that you would stay tonight and finish what you start.
Wow, wow. The beard, the hair, man, you look great. You look great.
That was that was the style then.
Indeed, indeed.
They styled me.
Indeed. 1994, you had another actor role, Murder or Memory, A Moment of Truth, you played a band singer, as I understand. Okay. You took a little break for a while. What was you doing on that break?
I got married, had 3 kids, and my ex-wife at this point said it's time to raise those kids and stay around the house and not tour all over the world. And so I took a hiatus to raise kids and had a family. I bought into a lighting company, became a lighting designer, and took a hiatus from the entertainment business.
Interesting. Sometimes you have to do these things. These things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. People forget you're still a human being.
That's right. That's right. Well, I had to put my priorities had to be like raise the kids and be a good dad.
Yeah. The kids doing now?
Kids are doing great. They're all in their 20s, and a couple of them live in Texas. One lives in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. They if it wasn't for COVID, we'd all been together for the holidays. But they're doing good, really good.
Any musicians?
My middle kid is a tap dancer and a hip hop artist in Austin, Texas. My oldest kid is a charter boat captain in the Gulf of Mexico. And my daughter is still in college. She's at Lang in New York City, the new school.
Excellent.
Last year.
As they say, you came out of hibernation and released your first single in over 25 years. This was on Quarto Valley Records. They called this One Day at a Time.
Yes. The short version of this is I got remarried to a woman named Nina. And while we were married, unfortunately, she passed away a year and a half ago from cancer. And while we were married, she turned to me and she said, it's time for you to make another record. It's time for you to put a band together, go play live, and live what you're supposed to be doing. And so I started writing songs again. I went in the studio, made another album. she pushed me. She was really insistent on I do this kind of stuff. And you know, I had no idea that I was going to get signed by another label, especially at you know, at your age. As you're getting older, you don't think anybody's going to pay any attention to you because you're not 19 anymore. But you know, I finished the album, and people, you know, had heard about it, and there were some great people playing on it. And the songs are, like I said, it's all about the songs, and I had really good songs. And I got contacted by a couple of labels, and they went, "Yeah, we want you on our roster." And Cordo Valley was a brand new label that was starting up, and they said, "We want to sign you." And I went, "Oh, that's amazing!" So I got signed by Cordo Valley Records. I'm on a roster with some really great other artists, and during COVID, I wrote a song called "One Day at a Time" that I was just doing as a piano vocal. See, on every Thursday, I would do a throwback Thursday for my fans and record something. And so "One Day at a Time" was recorded on Facebook, on my Facebook page, and it had 80,000 views. So the label said, "Hey, it's go in the studio, record that." And I was playing live with the ex-members of Wings, Paul McCartney's band, and somebody called Mark Foster from Foster the People, a big independent pop band. And we all did it, put it out, and it did very, very well. So label was happy with that. So that's the story of "One Day at a Time." It's all about COVID. We'll get through this together, one day at a time.
Roll it, Coney.
They say we're all in this together. Top to the bottom, no one will go unscathed. Parks closed, beaches empty, and no one will walk near. There's fear in their eyes as they try to smile a day at a time. Now my beard's growing.
Wow. Man, we out of time, but we got to get one more record in here. One more record in. I understand in February that you have a new song in a video called "River of Resurrection" featuring Edgar Winter. Roll it, Tony.
Resurrection, where everyone gets a second chance, where the world is much brighter and the hearts are much lighter, welcoming me with their outstretched.
Wow, what a song! What a song! I wish we had more time. T-Berry, you're a beautiful man. And I want to thank a good friend of both of us, Eva Marie Frederick, for putting you and I together this date. God bless you, my brother. Best wishes to you and your future endeavors. Do me one favor. The next time you come to LA, let me know. You got my number. Let me know I want to come in.
And I want to thank Eva Marie as well. And everybody, we got a podcast that's starting in a couple of weeks, every week. And we do live from the Bear Cave on Facebook every Tuesday at 1 p.m. So we'll do some songs for you and things like that. I want to personally thank you. It's been a pleasure hanging with you, man.
Same here. Back at you, they say. Back at
Okay. I love you, man.
Thank
Be
you.
safe.
Thank you.
Safe.
Thank you.
Everybody, think positive, test negative.
Yes.
Peace
This is
and
the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Ladies and gentlemen, our Actor's Choice Tax Squad, we're excited to announce that we're expanding into e-commerce. Now, this new year, 2021, the Actor's Choice will launch a new product line, including T-shirts, mugs, totes, backpacks, sweatshirts, water bottles, caps, and so on. As a side note, T-shirts comes in men and women sizes, and not all designs are available in both. But some items will be special order, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be able to buy all of your merchandise from our website, located at www.la.org. Again, that's www, the Actors Choice, la.org. Okay? And again, thank you very much for being a loyal Tech Squad member. And finally, if you have a product, a service, or an upcoming event that you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our prices are very affordable. We thank you. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it. My second guest today is a theater genius. He's a 6-year member of Rogue Artists Ensemble, a collection of stage designers, artisans, etc., who create the place where actors act. He's currently directing an interactive holiday experience called Storage Run, which you just saw, did a little dab of right there. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome award-winning designer Dillon Nelson. Mr. Nelson, greetings.
Hello, creative genius. That is.
Hey, listen, when you read your bio, you're a humble guy, but when you read your bio, you get a chance to say, genius, You get a chance. I just
well,
can't
thank you very much. Maybe I'll adopt that title.
Please do. I see you get into, I don't want your business, but you do a lot of fundraising. I saw when I was on doing some research. I said, this guy, he's beautiful. He's giving out, he's helping a lot of people. You put your hands in a lot of fundraisers. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for having me today.
Yeah. How did you get into stage design?
That's a good question. I when I was younger, I was really into art, and my grandparents were really into it, and they signed me up for art classes as a child, and I started doing all those. And when I got into high school, the theater group was there, of course, and I got in with them, and I felt like the theater was a place where it was like you could make art, but you could also be inside of it. So that was definitely something that was exciting for me. And I was lucky enough to have a high school theater group where we could design things and create stuff. And from there, it just took off. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got a BA in theater,
Mm-hmm.
Is there any need for special training or what I call education to get in this job?
I think so, for sure. I mean, I was, my work in the theater has been really varied, and I feel like that's something that's like a huge asset when you're thinking about work, and as you're designing anything, you have to think about not only like aesthetically how it's going to look and things like that, but also how are people going to be interacting with it, what the director needs. So I think there's a lot of different people that interact with these things, and so you have to keep them in mind. So I'm really lucky that my college that I went to, again, was a really hands-on sort of place, and anything that was out on the stage was because the students made it happen. And so I think that's just this kind of environment that I really like, and that's suited us. Yeah.
What's been the biggest challenge for you in this business so far? Biggest challenge?
That's a good question. I think one challenge for sure, I think there are a few of them, is reminding yourself that that you're worth something, and that you don't need to sell yourself short, and that if you want an opportunity, you should go out and try and find it. That's my advice.
Good advice. Yeah. How about what's the most complicated and expensive set that you ever had to build?
Oh my goodness. Expensive, that's hard for me to know. Luckily, I don't have to worry about the money as much, but I would say complicated, I'm going to throw it to the Rogue Artist Ensemble. We did a piece that was called Kaidan, Walls Grow Thin, and it took place inside of a storage building. And it was an old building from around the 30s, and so it was multi-layered. Visitors would travel through like three or four different floors through the experience, and they'd be led through. So that's a lot of stuff to make and a lot of space to fill up. And so it was definitely a challenge, but we scrapped it together and we figured it out. And there were some late nights, but it came together and had a big wow moment. So
Got you. Wow. Take us through what it's like building a set. I know it starts with my favorite word, and that is an idea. It's always, everything starts with an idea. So take us up from there.
Okay. So I think for sure you have you connected with the company, they reach out to you, and you first off have a conversation with could be an artistic director or director, and they sort of tell you their idea around the script. Hopefully by then you've also read it. So you have your own ideas and you sort of collaborate, you see what the sort of physical needs of the story are. You think about how they want to present that story, and then you start the process of putting it together. And to me, inspiration can come from anywhere. I think you could find it walking down the street. So you've got to keep your eyes open. No matter where you are, you might find something and be like, that's the answer.
Gotcha. We got a couple of photos, about 5 of them. Let's take a look at them, see what they are. Okay.
That one I know.
Uh-huh.
That's my Mañana Comes over at the fountain.
Uh-huh.
That was a fun project that I worked on props for this. And the fountain, is a smaller space, and everybody in the house is able to see everything on that stage. So there was a lot of food in this story. So I took a swing at making fake little steaks and probably like 70 different rolls that were made out of like a salt dough, and definitely an interesting project.
Wow. Next one, please.
I can't really tell what that is.
That is, let's see, that is the secret. No, it's a EOB Etbos stage.
I haven't worked on that production, but it looks great.
Yeah. Wow. The genius is getting excited, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. I love it.
I'm zooming in over here.
Next one. There you go.
Oh, yeah. This is Imaginary Invalid. I loved this. This is one of my favorite shows I've done in LA.
Uh-huh.
This was with A Noise Within, who I've worked with a lot. Another one of my little theater homes. And this project was really fun. It was really stylized, and over at Noise, I always feel like they let me, because I'm sort of a maximalist, they always let me layer on. And so this one had a lot of jars, as you can probably see in the background. I think that it had almost over 200 different containers that all had sort of specimens of things from our invalid, and that was a really great fun show.
Did they call this one The Secret Life of Jars?
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah. All right. One more we got to look at. There you go. Is that you?
No, I'm not sure who that is.
It's just called just a little event that they had. Excellent, excellent. Do you do TV and film sets?
I do, yeah.
Good.
I just recently finished in the new year, before our situation became what it is. I worked on a project called The Daisy Boy. So that is out and about right now, and it's a really great project. Okay.
Getting ideas for a set. You briefly talked about it, but do you go to the theater yourself and look at theater and absorb it? I mean, that kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think you can, like I said, find inspiration anywhere. And I feel like you could find it on stage with someone else's production. Not to say you should copy anything, but you know, I think the more you know, the more you can do. And so exposure is always good, and I think, you know, watching new films or old films, things you've not seen before, can only broaden, you know, the possibilities of what you might create. So
How do you like working with movable sets?
I think they are a little more complicated. You know, safety is always a concern, but I think, you know, they're very versatile. I think there's a lot you can do with things that move. So if you're able to do it, for sure.
Got you. Ever thought about going to Broadway, Dillon?
I have some friends who are there. Maybe I could go visit them, but I don't know. New York I mean, I love New York, and it's a great place to visit, but I don't know. Could I stay there? Maybe after LA, that could be the next stop.
Yeah, it's a little faster than it is here.
That's right.
I'm from New York, that's why I can.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Fast. Well, in that town, all they want you to do is get some hot dogs, walk down Broadway, do whatever you're doing, walk down Broadway.
Right. Keep walking.
Walk down Broadway, you know. There it is. Ever thought about being an actor?
I have performed. That's actually how I first met the Rogue Artists was as a performer. I was in one of their all ages productions of Zen Shorts was the name of it, where I was puppeteered and sang and was a panda.
Yes.
Who visits some young folks and helps them learn how to calm down and breathe. So that was actually my first production that I'd ever done in LA, was with the Rogues.
Dillon, I see that stage work is very, very special to you. And I know if you've been watching this show, you'll see that Ron Brewington, that be me, I have a bone with actors and actresses. And that is, people come here with, you know, searching grandeur. I want to be a star. Well, that's fine. That's cool. But they say, well, what you going to do? Well, I'm going to do some television. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'll do some film. That's good. That's good. That's good. You're going to do some stage. That's my bone right there. How you feel about it?
I agree. I think something that the theater really offers, something I found in the theater, is a lot of community. That I feel like whenever you're on a film set, it is that go, 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 that sort of almost New York lifestyle where we've got to get the things done and we're running towards the finish line. But in the theater, you can sort of sit in the soup a little bit. You can get to know each other. And you can collaborate a little bit more. And I think that's always something I've looked for whenever I'm creating anything, is, you know, I feel like I want to collaborate. I want to meet with people and hear their ideas. And that's something I see with this group, the Rogues in particular.
Got you. Dillon, you are an award winner. You won the LA Ovation Award. As everybody knows, that's the top theater award here in LA.
I did.
Tony, could you show that picture, please? There he is. There he is on the right hand side. Look at that handsome young man.
A creative genius.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations. How did it feel when they said, and the winner is Dillon Nelson?
I was surprised, actually. I mean, I really believed in that production. That was Kaidan, by the way, the one I was talking about earlier. I was really shocked. You know, it had gotten a lot of great attention, and it was a lot of hard work. But, you know, I think hopefully no one goes in to something like that and is like, oh yeah, I'm the winner, like everybody else is the worst. So it was a big surprise for me. I was honored. I still somehow feel like I'm new in the theater scene in LA. I've been here, you know, over 5 years, maybe 7 or something now. But you know, I think it was really a great moment, and I really appreciated it.
Now, when you get your Tony, you can put it next to it.
Absolutely.
Now, I see that you participate in numerous plays, no question about it. In 2019, for example, you were in a play called Argonos Kika at the Associate Puppet Designer. Can you tell us about that, sir?
Yeah, that was at A Noise Within. And they're another group that I've worked with for a long time. and they are really creative, and they really do a lot of great work, and a lot of work that's based on classical pieces. And so that production, they brought me on as a sort of guest artist to help create some puppets for that production, and it was a lot of fun. I made a giant dragon, some harpies out of umbrellas. So it was a really interesting project. Some things to figure out for sure, but they're another great group that always gives it a nice challenge.
Gotcha. Roll it, Tony.
We are the Argonauts, headed to Colchis, to retrieve the Golden Fleece and bring it back to its rightful homeland.
Who cares about the fleece? Are you serious?
Wow. Artistry, actors at their best.
So theatrical, huh?
Yeah. And guys like you get out there and make it that way. And we thank you very much. I go to the, as they say, the theater. I go regularly.
Good.
Nice to see. Of course, when we get out of this COVID, we'll be back to business again. What is your current job at Skirball Cultural Center?
I am an educator there. So yay. I spend a lot of time with the little ones and helping them navigate the museum, do tours and things. I also am the, this makes sense, but I'm also the prop and set lead there. So in one of our gallery spaces, I'm the go-to person for the sort of look and design and feel of it all. And so there's a lot of work there because there are a lot of kids that come by, and kids are tough. They'll beat up some stuff if you let them. So you got to find things that are pretty durable for them.
You got a lot of responsibility on your back there, sir.
A little, but it's worth it, I think.
Excellent. Now you're doing a current interactive production called Storage Run. Roll it, Tony. Wow, that's beautiful. You are the co-creator?
One of, yes.
And the director?
Yeah, surprisingly.
Tell us about the project, please.
For sure. So Storage Run, well, every year, the Rogue Artists, we do a fundraiser for the company. And sometimes they're telethons. They're just sometimes they're sort of like variety shows, all sorts of stuff. And this year, obviously, took every theater group for a spin. But the Rogue Artists, they're a very scrappy, can-do kind of group. And so we came up with this story, essentially. And what it is it's a branching narrative. So depending on the choices that the player makes, you could either go this way or that way and experience something different. And so that's the sort of interactive part of this this virtual experience. So Storage Run is the story of a person named Mike who gets locked inside of a storage unit, inside the Rogue storage unit. So there's lots of things from our past productions hiding in there. And one of the things that's hiding is a robot. And the robot sort of comes to life. And they're sort of stranded in this almost deserted island inside of our storage building. So they learn to be friends, they connect, and the person who is the robot, or who's making those choices for this robot named Fred, that is the player. So if you log on and you're you're sort of controlling the story through this robot's eyes. So it's a lot of fun, and it's pay what you can. So we knew this year was tough for a lot of folks, so we wanted to make it accessible to anyone and everyone. So we have a suggested donation of $20, but it could be $1 if that's what you're comfortable with. So
25 would be even better. Yeah, 25.
Yeah.
Go for the 25. How many actors or actresses are involved in this project?
How many?
Yep.
So we had three different mics throughout the story, and then we had one person who is the robot, or sort of the eyes of the robot. So there's 4 there in-house, and then we had a collection of other artists that are from all across the country. So I think we're somewhere over 30 different artists that collaborated. And so they have different moments throughout that you can access and see depending on what choices that you make. So it's a big collaborative group experience for sure.
You got a sponsor, I hear.
Yeah, we partnered with a group called Hapyak. And what they are, traditionally they're used for sort of like HR training and different things like that. But they reached out to us and said that they wanted to use their platform in a different way. And they were really interested in that sort of branching narrative storytelling piece. So, we said this is a great tool. Mm-hmm. It's a great way for people to experience theater adjacent and still have some say as to how the story goes, and just play along a little bit.
Does any equipment needed to view this project?
Just a computer, and that's all you need. I'd say if you're trying to access it on your phone, don't use a laptop.
Okay, why is that?
It's just easier to navigate because there are some things you have to click throughout the Hapyak system.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get tickets, information like this?
Absolutely. So you can go visit the Rogue Artist website. That's rogueartist.org. And if you want to check out Storage Run, that's rogueartist.org/storage run. And so you can check that out. There's all the information there on that landing page. We've got a trailer there. There's lots of information. And you'll see a big blue button that says book now, and you can get your ticket.
Technology.
Yes.
Where would we be without technology?
Absolutely. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm here and you're where you're at.
Uh-huh.
Amazing. I teach a class out at Santa Monica College, and we're doing online, and I have people calling, students from China, from South Korea. I'm saying, whoa, we're just sitting there having a conversation. Time difference, it might be midnight for them, but time difference is marvelous.
Yeah.
We have just a few more moments, but just want to one more time let people know what are the dates of this event that you're doing.
Absolutely, it's running now. We opened the project, started rolling out in December, but we're going to be rolling this. It's going to be up all 3 chapters. It's in 3 parts, so they'll be up and running until January 31st. So this is the month to do it. So check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. Dillon, I want to thank you very much for taking the time. Of course, we have to say thank you to Lucy Pollock, the publicist who we work with. Marvelous lady. Whenever we need someone, we always call her, and bam, she's always got some very good clients that she brings to us. We thank her. We thank you for taking the time. Genius, as we say.
Oh, thank you so much, Ron. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thanks to our sponsors, Harvey Brandman Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart, Larry Buford's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. State Farm agent Carla Green and veteran actor Rob Brownstein actor training school called An Actor's Space. Much thanks to our guest today, songwriter, actor, singer, Richard T. Beyer, and award-winning set designer and artisan Dillon Nelson. And of course, special thanks to our ever growing audience. We say thank you, be well. We'll see you next time. Take care.